Hello. In this video, we are going to see how to obtain a residence permit for social integration in a safe way. In principle, what we have to have, we already know, are the proofs of the last 3 years, one proof every 120 days at the most. And in these proofs are fundamental, the census certificates, the receipts of sending money, the medical assistance, and also any other proof that we can add. But these are fundamental. Others can be telephone bills, bank transactions. These proofs are less important, but between them, we have to complete these 120 days maximum between proofs. This is the most important thing. The rest, a certificate of census registration, not having a criminal record from the country of origin, with a corresponding authentication or apostille from The Hague, and a certified translation. Then, the most important things, as we all know, is either the contract or the alternative of also doing it on your own behalf, with the modification of the immigration regulations. It is much simpler and more feasible to access on your own behalf. Why? Because previously, the requirements that were asked of us to access on our own behalf was an important economic investment job, creation, etc. The new regulations mean that this job creation can be our own self-employment, and that the investment we are going to make or need is the investment for the startup of the business activity. Which means that if we are going to dedicate ourselves to cleaning, then perhaps with the cleaning utensils, which are simple and easy, we can have enough and we do not need to create jobs. That important investment for the first years of maintenance, all that is already cancelled out. What is the great advantage? The great advantage is that if we carry out a project, a small business activity project, with a minimum amount, we are ensuring the success of social integration, of gaining access to residency through social integration. While providing a work contract for a company, we all know that sometimes it's very complicated, not only very complicated, but there has been many cases where people are paid to get a contract, and years after having the residence permit, they have cancelled it because the police found out the initial contract was false. These cases have occurred with many more companies, so we avoid the risk by doing it on our own behalf. A small project of activity, which we are guaranteeing on our own behalf. Even with a self-employed residence permit, we can also access the possibility of working as an employee, supposedly for no more than 30 hours. But from experience, I can tell you that if you work more than that and reach 40 hours, nothing happens. Then, the first renewal is for 1 year, and the next renewal is for 4 years. And in those 4 years, it makes no difference whether you are self-employed or employed, which is a great advantage. I think it's the most reliable and simple way. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that the social security payments are only €68 for the first year, which is quite affordable. And the fact that we are presenting our declarations correctly with some profit, or is advisable above the IPREM, ensures the success of the renewal. Even the regulations state that if we still have losses or we owe money to the social insurances, they will also renew it, which is not advisable, of course. From this office, we can process your residency permits at a national level, as nowadays everything is digital. Just by sending us a scan of the documentation is enough, and we carry out the project here. We obtain the necessary viability certificate for the project to work. If you have any doubts, we are at your disposal. Best regards.